The Mega Millions jackpot is at $1.55 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money for me. I mean, I could do anything I wanted with that. All right, now I want you to visualize something. I want you to visualize, maybe close your eyes and imagine that you win. I'm closing my eyes. You have the ticket, you have the numbers. I'm sitting there. I see the numbers being called. I double, triple, quadruple check that I actually won the jackpot. I'm now a billionaire, or maybe close to a billionaire, depending on taxes. That's how the government gets you. And I have all these visions of what I can do for me, for other people, all the good I'm going to do. But as I'm sitting there with my ticket, I realize God is still asking me to follow him. And I kind of had that little visualization practice because, I think winning the lottery, I think, is a lot of people's really big fantasy. And I think for a lot of us, winning the lottery would be this thing that we also look at as an opportunity to do so much good. Where we say, Lord, if I won the lottery, I would take care of my family, I would take care of my friends, I would give a lot of it away, I would help out organizations, I would take care of all of the money problems of people that I love. But the question still remains that Christ is still calling me to be holy, even if I became a billionaire overnight. Jesus is still asking me to be holy. So if you're one of the lucky people out there who wins the jackpot, the Mega Millions, and as of August 8th drawing, no one's won it yet. So I'm not sure when this uploads, maybe someone has won it. So if you've won the Mega Millions and you're a billionaire now, God is still calling you closer to him. Jesus is still calling you to be radically holy, to give him everything. And I think about that responsibility. I think about all the good I would do if I had all of this money, all the money, I would do so much good with it. I would do so much good if I won the lottery. And the funny thing when I was thinking about this Mega Millions jackpot is that Christ wants me to do so much good right now. Jesus isn't asking me to give a, $250,000 to a school, or asking me to sit on the board of a nonprofit and decide what to do with $10 million. Jesus isn't asking me to do that. He's asking me to be holy right now. Be a good husband, be a good father, stay far from sin, trust him more intensely and more immensely every single day. That's what Jesus is calling me, Pete, to do right now, today. And I think when I think of something like the jackpot or these kind of big moments in life, it's very easy to say for myself, oh man, I can be holy now, but man, if I had a ton of money, I would be really holy because I would give so much of it away. And then I would not have to worry about money, and then I can really, really dig down into being holy. And I think about stuff like that, like all the good that I could do with all this money, oh my gosh, I would do so much good if I had so much money. I would help people, I would give it away, and I would just give so much money away. And the funny thing is, I think of then the 2 cents, the woman at the well with 2 cents, where Christ still wants me to give money to him now. And I think think of all the good that would come from it if I just gave a lot of money. Well, Christ is calling me to give money now to him of what I make. He's not asking for $1 million. He's asking for my 2 cents today in my paycheck next week. Some of that needs to be offered to God. And I think a lottery is a very, very interesting, the Mega Millions, the lottery, the jackpot is very interesting, thought experiment, because I think what comes out of me is that this oh man, Lord, if I won the lottery, I would be so good for you. I would be a great team player. I would make sure to spread the gospel. I would make sure to give money to people. I would make sure to just, I would just have no worries in my life because I wouldn't worry about money. And I would just trust you with everything. But God's calling me God's calling me to do that every day. He's asking me to trust him more with all the things in my life. He's asking me to, tithe. He's asking me to be good to people. He's asking me all these things to be holy right now. And so I think the lottery can bring up a very, very typical thought process, which is, I can be holy now, but I can be more holy in the future if I had more money, if I had more responsibility, if I had more people in my life, if I had more opportunities, if I had a little bit more confidence, if I had a little bit more support, if I had a little bit more respect from people, then I would be really holy. I can listen to some good talks, so maybe I should be giving the talks. I can be in a share group with some guys, but maybe I should be leading the share group. Maybe I should be pastoring guys. Then I could really give back. That's where God really wants me to use my gifts. I can give some money now out of my paycheck, but man, if I had more money, I could give more money, and it would hurt less on me, and I could do more with it. So I want to chase money because I want to do so much good with it. And I think that is very common. I know for me, I can fall into that trap, this idea of oh man, I can be holy now, but man, in the future, I'm going to be so much more holy. I'm going to be so much more holy because I'm going to have a little bit more things. I'm going to have a little bit more stuff to do, a little bit less stuff to take care of, a little bit more respect, a little bit more authority, a little bit more prestige, a little bit more money. I just need a little bit more, God, then I could be really holy. Lord, if you just give me a little bit more, I just want a little more, and then I can really, really go for it. I can really go for it for you. But God wants our hearts right now. He wants us to be holy right now. God wants us to be holy today, this very second, as you're listening and watching this video, this podcast. God wants me and you to be holy right now. First, he wants our hearts, then he wants our money, then he wants our time, then he wants our talents. But first, he wants our hearts. And so I know I can be one of those guys that thinks, oh man, I'll really be holy. I'll really go for it in the future in a little bit. It's going to take care of some stuff here. But then, God, I'm going to really go for it. I'm not going to worry about today. I'm going to worry about tomorrow and be holy. But Christ is calling me right now, today, to be holy, to be righteous today, to be holy right now. And the funny thing is that God gives us all exactly what we need to be holy right now. He's giving us the right amount of opportunities, the right amount of support, the right amount of grace, the right amount of patience, the right amount of mental clarity. God gives us all the tools we need to be holy right now. And he's going to give us the tools to be holy tomorrow, and he's going to give us the tools to be holy in a month, and in 5 months, and 5 years. But he's going to give us the tools to be holy then. He's not going to give us all right now. He's not going to say, all right, you just put on all these backpacks and all this stuff, and you're good to go for the next decade. Just God bless, see you soon. And, check back in a little bit, man. You got a bunch of money, you got food, you got directions, you're good to go. It's no. Jesus is calling us to be holy right now, and he's giving us exactly what we need to carry out that holiness every single day today. Last week in the Gospels of every day, at Mass every day, was the Kingdom of Heaven parables, where Jesus is giving a set of parables about what the Kingdom of Heaven is like. The Kingdom of Heaven is like the weeds and the wheat, and the angels will separate the weeds and the wheat. The Kingdom of Heaven is like, fishes in, fishermen fishing for fishes, and they have, so many fishes. The Kingdom of Heaven is like, a merchant who sees a great pearl, and then sells everything he's had to sell the pearl. But then what I want to focus on is the Kingdom of Heaven is like the buried treasure in the field. It's a very, very short verse in the book of Matthew. And Jesus says the Kingdom of Heaven is like a man who stumbles upon a buried treasure in a field. And then he joyfully goes out, sells everything he has to buy that field, because he knows the true value of the field. For us, the journey is that, do we believe when we sell everything we have, that when we go all in following Christ, that he's going to give us the most invaluable and pay us back and going to give us like a buried treasure? Do we actually believe that he's going to take care of all of our physical needs and our spiritual needs, and he's going to pay us back tenfold? Because that's what the Kingdom of Heaven is. That's why this parable is like not winning the lottery. You know, the lottery is just money. There's a bunch of money in your pocket one day. But the buried treasure is, in the field, in the parable, is that we sell everything we have to dig for this buried treasure, and we trust that God is going to pay us back immensely. And not just in saying, oh yeah, well, like, you know, you sold 10 shirts, I'm going to give you 100 shirts. But that what God has, the buried treasure that God has for us in our lives, is invaluable. You can't put a number on it. And that it's going to be so much better than the things we want, the things we could buy from the Mega Millions, or the things that we could do, the good things we could do with, you know, winning a ton of money. The buried treasure that God has for us in our lives, each one of us, should bring us so much joy because it is so worth, so much better value and so much more worth than the things of this world. So that's why I think it's like it was a really powerful comparison where Mega Millions is going on, people losing their minds, people are trying to win the lottery. And then last week was these Kingdom of Heaven parables. And the buried treasure comes up and like, hey, like we're, you know, the free gift of faith is there. But we kind of have to do a little bit to get to that Kingdom of Heaven. We have to sell a little bit. We have to dig a little bit. We have to find the treasure in the field. And then what stops us from doing that is that we believe, is God really going to pay me back? Is God really going to take care of me? Does God really know my needs? Is God really there for me? Does God really know my career goals? Does God really know the schools I want to get into? Does God really know, you know, my vocation? We have all these questions that hold us back from selling what we have to going to find the buried treasure in the field. Like, it's as simple as that. So when we think about then like money, winning the jackpot, the lottery, we think, oh man, I would do so much good. Well, I'm sure a lot of us would. But God is still calling us to something greater than just making a bunch of money and giving it to him. Or, you know, doing great things for him. You know, hey God, I'm going to do these great things because, you know, I want to do great things for you, like, you know, this podcast or Backseat Media. I think the temptation for me is, hey Lord, I'm doing so many great things for you. This is such a great thing for you. But God still wants my heart. Jesus still wants my heart and to work in me. So no matter how good this podcast is, how many people are, you know, drawn to Christ because of it, Christ is still working in me. And that's like the ultimate goal of this, is that it's not that I do great things for Christ. It's that Christ does great things for me. And that's the true message of like our Christian life. And so, you know, the buried, you know, if you're out there buying a lottery ticket and you're out there, you know, hoping you get rich overnight, and maybe you've won, maybe you've seen this and maybe you've won, God is still calling you to great and incredible things, greater than any sum of money, greater than $1 billion. He wants your heart, and he's going to give you everything you need right now to be holy and to be great today. So that's something I want to keep challenging myself to do, to pray to be holy today. To pray, to accept the things that God has for me today. And to do good with the things that God has expected of me today and the things that I have. And not worry so much about the future, the things I want, the things I need, the things I just got to get, and then I can be holy. But pray to do good with the things that I have right now today. I challenge all of you and encourage you all to do the same. I know it's very, very hard in our consumeristic society and, you know, capitalist, exciting America, and everyone's got things and cars and houses and more. It can be hard to like quiet our souls and say, hey Lord, I want to be holy today, and I just want to give you my heart and let you worry about all the things you need to provide for me. I don't want to worry about that. So that's my challenge for myself this week. I hope you all do the same. If you've won the lottery, if you've won the Mega Millions, hit me up. I'd love to do some good things with you for it. No, I'm just playing. But if you do win the lottery, that'd be insane. And if you're watching this. So, hope you all have a great week. Reach out to me, DM me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Peace.